We know a lot, have read dozens of books and watched hours of documentaries, that the world is still full of surprises. Copenhagen-based infographics agency Ferdio learns something new every day and collects dizzying facts about everything in the world in its Factorism project. When we met him, we were amazed that 1 teaspoon of honey is the result of a lifetime's work of 12 bees. Now every morning at tea we thank the hardworking insects from the bottom of our hearts. Selfies kill more people than sharks. In September 2015, a 66-year-old tourist fell down a flight of stairs while trying to take selfies at the Taj Mahal and died. This tragic incident was the 12th fatality due to selfies in a year, while sharks caused only 8 deaths. Tyrannosaurs are closer to humans than stegosaurs on the timeline. Stegosaurs and their relatives Allosaurus, Apatosaurus, lived about 155 to 145 million years ago, and Tyrannosaurs only existed about 67 million years ago. It turns out that about 83 million years separated Stegosaurs from Tyrannosaurs, and the current era of the Earth's geological history, the Cenozoic era, which is still ongoing, began 66 million years ago and was marked by the appearance of man. Airplanes fly slower now than in the past. Today, a non-stop flight from New York to Houston takes 4 hours. In 1973, the same flight would have taken almost 3 hours. The thing is, the price of fuel has gone up significantly over the years, and the airlines realized that they could save millions of pounds a year by simply flying slower than possible. Cleaning the house is as bad for your health as smoking a pack of cigarettes. Inhaling chemicals found in cleaning products increases your risk of developing asthma by up to 43%. The chemicals irritate the mucous membranes of the respiratory tract and can cause long-term changes in their function. There are so many varieties of apples that if you ate one a day, it would take 20 years to try them all. There are over 7,500 known varieties of apples in the world, and 20 years is 7,300 days, so it would take you even longer than 20 years to try every variety. Wine glasses are 7 times bigger than they were in the past. At the beginning of the 18th century, a wine goblet could only hold 66 milliliters of drink, and today, it's not uncommon to drink from glasses that hold half a liter, so over the last 300 years, they have increased in size 7 times, with the most significant changes occurring in the last 20 years, when wine consumption has increased. Steve Jobs chose the name Apple to go before Atari in the phone book. There are several legends about how the name Apple was coined. The most plausible is the story of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak riding in a car, and Jobs said, "I've come up with a name. Apple Computer." The men continued to go through the options, but no other ideas came up. Jobs would later recount, "I kept in mind that I had worked for Atari, and the Apple name allowed us to get ahead of Atari in the phone book. Cows that are called by their nickname produce 258 more liters of milk per year than those that are not named in any way." A study by scientists suggests a gentle way for farmers to get more milk from their cows. Simply treat them with affection, pet them, and repeat their nickname more often. Researchers believe that a cow that is called by name feels more relaxed, while stress hormones reduce milk production. One pencil can draw a line 56 kilometers long. An average-sized pencil can draw a line 35 miles long, that's just over 56 kilometers, or write 45 words. 2,500 years ago, China had money in the form of knives. Such bronze knives were a commodity that served the function of money in China between 600 and 200 BC during the Zhou dynasty. Thanks to the flat screen and high resolution, dogs can watch TV just like humans. The image on a standard TV screen is refreshed 60 times per second. To the human eye, a flicker of more than 50 Hz is perceived as continuous motion, but dogs can recognize flickering at 75 Hz because their eyes are designed to respond to motion, so the picture on the screen is probably just a flicker to them. Such an image seems unrealistic to animals, and therefore does not occupy their minds. But modern technology now offers TVs with high resolution. Such images do not seem to dogs unnecessarily flickering and unrealistic. And this interests our pets. Another reason why dogs don't even watch modern TVs is that the screen is at human eye level. If you put it on the floor, the dog is likely to watch the TV with interest. Ancient Egyptians played bowling 5,000 years ago. Bowling was popular in ancient Egypt as early as 5,000 years ago. The Egyptians played it in a large hall. 2 people at a time. Each person was on the end of a 4-meter lane. One person threw a large ball and the other threw a small ball. Only 5 modern countries have never been colonized by Europe. Almost every corner of the globe was colonized between about the early 16th century and 1960. Some were under a protectorate or mandate, others fell under spheres of influence, and only 5 modern countries have completely escaped European colonialism: South and North Korea, Japan, Thailand and Liberia. All the Nutella that is sold in the world in a year could cover more than 1,000 soccer fields. Nutella was first made in 1940 and was so beloved by children and adults that they still consume this treat in huge quantities to this day. And if every jar of Nutella paste bought in a year were put on toast, it could cover more than 1,000 soccer fields. A teaspoon of honey is the result of a lifetime's work of 12 bees. In its entire life, bees live for 4 to 5 months at a time. One average bee produces only 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey, so the spoonful of the sweet product you put in your tea in the morning was the work of 12 bees over a lifetime. Most people hear the difference between hot and cold water when it is poured over them. 96% of people can tell the difference between hot and cold by sound. Condiment Junkie, a company specializing in sound design, came to this conclusion in an experiment. To see if you're in that majority, you can check here. Gold is edible. Food can be fabulously expensive. For example, in New York you can have a burger for $666 with lobster, truffles, and with gold leaf. You can need a serving of 24 karat or pure gold and not get sick. Pure gold passes through the human digestive system without being absorbed, so the rich have nothing to fear. Flamingos can drink boiling water. These birds can drink water of a temperature close to the boiling point. The fact is that most of the lakes where flamingos live have a very high concentration of salt, and the only source of fresh water are boiling geysers.